Hello, and welcome to That Squirrel Speaks. Today is Tuesday, December 30th, and this is episode 130 of my I'm your hostess, Amy Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry, the person with very, very dirty glasses in my house, and also the Fat Squirrel SQRRL on Instagram. How are you? Oh my gosh, are you having a good holiday season? Is it holiday-tastic? I hope it's holiday-tastic. That's better. You can't tell, but I can tell. Shenanigans. If you're new to the show, thanks for trying me out. I know there are lots of great podcasts out there, so thanks for chiseling away a little bit of time. Come say hello. Hello. But if you're new, the show usually runs like something like shenanigans. And then maybe some knitting and maybe some spinning. And then sometimes shameless self-promotion. But that's the kind of general feel of the thing. Okay? Okay. So let's start with shenanigans. Now that you have the outline, let's start with shenanigans, shall we? Oh my gosh, so many shenanigans! None of epic storytelling quality. I don't think. Look at me, I'm like, maybe there were. Bowling? What? We went bowling. It was Tova's birthday. Tova is my daughter. She is 8. Well, she just turned 8. Your birthday, Tova. So she has requested for almost a year now that we go bowling for her birthday. We've never been bowling before. I went bowling like what? High school National Honor Society or something crazy. My husband has been bowling, but you know, it's been a while. She, of course, has never been bowling in her little life. So she really wanted to go bowling. So we went bowling and it was very fun. We had lots of fun. The shoes were awesome. I really should have taken a picture because my husband wears a size 13. I wear a size 11 women, so I got some big feet. He wears a size 13 men's, and he's this big approximately. So he does really look like a golf club with his neon shoes on. So awesome. They were neon yellow with neon yellow shoelaces. They also had neon orange on them somewhere. They were fancy. Super fancy. Of course, they only had a half size smaller than I wear. They didn't have my size. I should have asked for a half size bigger, but the lady just decided for me and gave them to me. So my toes were a little pinched by the end of the day, but it was okay. It's all worth it because we had lots of fun. The kids had lots of fun. We had to get the bumpers out because somebody lost a ball like 2 times in a row in the gutter. And the whole little fellows had to come and rescue them, which is kind of embarrassing. Oh, and I made such a jerk of myself. Do you do this? Oh my gosh, holidays are so good for this. Let's discuss, shall we? Actually, it doesn't have to be a holiday for me. It's any time I interact with other humans at all that I care about, that I want to see again. Humanity in the other world, it doesn't ever happen to them, but I am so neurotic. Hi, I'm super crazy style. We had 3 kids bowling and 5 adults bowling. And so the games were not matching up. We had 2 games each. And the kids were getting done way faster than we were. So I had to be crazy neurotic. And like, I didn't even realize at the moment, but after the whole thing was over, like the next day I was really like, oh, somebody should have really been my jerk friend. Like she should have been like, you're being a jerk. I need a jerk monitor at all times. Like somebody I trust, you know. But, you know, somebody who doesn't think I'm just always a jerk, because I'm not always a jerk. But I do need somebody to intervene occasionally, like, dude, bring it down. Because I am so crazy. The whole time I'm like, all right, so-and-so, it's your turn. All right, so are you ready, so-and-so? You're next. Like, I'm just, you don't want to be my friend. I'm annoying. So annoying. So does that happen to you in social situations? Not that specifically, that you're task mastering everybody. Although I'm an only child, I totally do that all the time. And I see my kid do it, and I'm like, don't do that, I do that, it's disgusting. I try not to say it that way because that would be scary for her. Don't be the boss of everybody. I don't want to be the boss of everybody. I want to be chill. I want to be the dude. Totally want to be the dude. I'm not the dude at all. I'm like the dude's anal retentive mother-in-law. Nobody wants to be the dude's anal retentive mother-in-law. I totally am. I want curly hair and I want to be more free-spirited. I have straight hair and I'm uptight. What are you gonna do? But do you do that? Do you, like, after a social situation, like, mull over all the things you said that were very wrong, that nobody probably even remembers? Because I will say this for myself. I'm not judging because, I'm not feeling judged because I judge. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there is a certain point of that you put that out there. Like, if you're always judging other people, because I know this from my youth. It's not, like, from made-up stuff. It's from my youth. I used to be very judgy. I would judge the pants off of this person right here. I would have judged her pants off. But do you know, like, so it's not, there is a point, there is like a factor of, if you're a very judgmental person, you often are very concerned about other people judging you because that's what you're putting out there. You know what I mean? Like, you are judging other people, so therefore you naturally assume that everybody's thinking about you. What is that Eleanor Roosevelt quote? That you should not be concerned what other people are thinking of you because they rarely are. It's Eleanor Roosevelt's. That's not an exact quote, but it's something in that ballpark. So anyway, so I've moved beyond that. Like, I no longer so much overanalyze other people's dude hickeys, except for my family. Whatever, let me go. But I still am like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? Why did I elect to say that? Why did I do it? All the time. It's not even like I'm a lush. Like, I'd be like, I was drunk. No, I'm never drunk. I'm just a jerk. I still think it's getting better. As I get older. Right? I think it's totally getting better. But it still makes me nervous. Social interactions. I'm not so good at them. Unless they are like up here, where it's just like, hi, I'm nice to meet you. I have a kid and, oh yes, I do enjoy it. You know, it's up here, I'm totally fine. When it gets down here, it gets a little like, anxiety. By the way, do you enjoy that my lips are the exact same color as my face? Do you enjoy that about me? They totally are. I should probably put lipstick on for you. But I forgot to do so. Even when I put lipstick on, I'm afraid to put dark lipstick on, so it still just looks the same. It's just so in my head I can be like, I exerted that effort for them. Oh my gosh, have I babbled enough? Probably not. So those were the primary, well, I mean, there was also, hi, we celebrate Christmas. So we did Christmas, which was very fun. That was birthday. Very fun. I'm trying to think of anything else. No, that's it. And those were all awesomely fun. But like to like glean the pearl of a story out of any one of them is just not happening apparently. So yay! It was good times. I hope you had good times too. I hope everybody had good times. Right? So this is the dealio for this week's episode. I have several things that are done that are not here because then, as you can imagine, I gifted them to people, considering it's the holiday season. This is the first year I have not knit for for friends. It was very liberating. I don't really think it was that much more expensive either. I'm pro that. We don't spend exorbitant amounts of money on friends, but you know what I mean? Like, I still think it was more affordable. And it took so much less time, which was awesome. Really, it was really nice. It's fun to make things for friends. I enjoy making things for friends, but it's not fun to make things when you have to like make 10 things. It's too stressful. Plus family things, that's like what, 16 things? That's too many things to make. Especially when you're not really sure that like people really want the thing you're making. Not that they're not like nice, appreciative people, but like, do they really want the thing that I could like A, afford, and B, afford the time to make? Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, was very nice. Oh, my nose itches, sorry. So anyway, so there's lots of finished items. I'm trying to see if they're in this pod eye thing. I'm saying if they're in the eye device so I can show you pictures as I talk about them perhaps. But there are several things that were finished. Oh, they're not there. Oh wait, done. Sorry. Ah! Stop moving me around. Apparently I don't know how to do things. Surprise. That's how this sometimes works. Oh, I thought they would show up on my big device, and I'll show them to you on the small device, which is somehow in my head less exciting. But, oh! There we go. I guess I should show you this, but it's probably upstairs with my dear husband. Oh, by the way, my husband is totally sleeping, and my child is at her grandmother's, so I'm trying to do this. It's very early in the morning, so I'm a little bit more of this. I'm a little bit more whiskey and cigarette than normal. I wish I would talk like this all the time. I, too, want to sing Smelly Cat. But so, he is actually upstairs, but, and so I could find this probably if I really looked. Anyway, I finished his, which you had not even seen started, but out of Beaver Slide Dry Goods, and their 3-ply fisherman weight. If you're new to the show, I love Beaver Slide Dry Goods. They're actually they're human sheep. They might be, but they're merino sheep in Montana. So it is American raised wool. It is processed in a Canadian mill that's right across the border, because that's what works. It's very exciting. So anyway, so they're Beaver Slide Dry Goods. It is a rustic yarn. If you only like Malabrigo, don't touch them. It feels like wool. That's one of the reasons I like it. Not that I don't like those other things too. And this is the colorway Autumn Licorice. It's this little hat right here. Maybe I should turn down the brightness. Does that help? And that's the, is it the North Country? Look at, even though I don't have like 10 of the things I'm just about to show you, I still have too much stuff in front of me. It's crazy. I believe it's called the North Country Toque. If you're new to the show, this happens a lot. Just enjoy me in the downtime. It is in fact called the North Country. It's just called North Country. One word, by Becca Cahill. Cahill. It is originally meant to go down over the recipient's ears. Like that. However, my husband likes to wear earmuffs in the winter, so he prefers his hat to stay above his ears. He doesn't prefer his hat to stay above his ears. If his hat is even a centimeter over his ear, he will not say that he's not going to wear it. It's not like he's rude, but he won't wear it. Right. Whatever. As I just mentioned, I am also neurotic. Just a different flavor thereof. So I finished that. Yay! That's a super speedy hat because the Beaver Slide Dry Goods is it considered, I think it's considered a bulky, not an air. Yeah, it's bulky. It takes less than a skein. Even if you did the full length, it would take less than a skein because I had probably 30 grams-ish left over. So it's very, and it's super speedy. You know, it's less than 100 stitch cast it on, so it's like, boom, boom, you're done. So that's very fun to knit. So at least he does like a really easy hat. Yay him. I'm trying to turn down the brightness on my device so that maybe it won't blind you as much when I show it to you. Okay, so the next thing, these are not in any particular order when I say the next thing. It's just the next thing I find on this device to show you. The next thing I finished was, I finished my socks. Yeah, I'll talk about that right now. I finished my socks for my Memo. If you don't know this about my Memo, she loves hand-knit socks. We just discovered this. Was it last year that I gave my grandfather a pair of handmade socks? Or maybe it was 2 years ago. I feel like it was last year. I don't remember. Anyway, what happened is I have a papa who is notoriously hard to buy anything for or to make anything for. I love him. He's a great person. He's wonderful in every way. He's not necessarily appreciative of things you make because he is very much of the school that, do you know you could go buy socks at the store? He's just of that school. He's like, I'm not really sure why you're exerting all of this effort and quite frankly money to make something that you could go purchase. So he is wonderful and I love him. He's a little hard to make stuff for. He's getting better in his old age. Before the days of the internet, he was like, he only liked 16-inch square. It was 16-inch or 18-inch? I think it's 18-inch square handkerchiefs, 100% cotton. Which is before the internet, that was impossible to find things. So he's particular. My husband is particular. He's my father figure, my papa. I'm seeing correlations. So he's very particular. Would you like to see a picture of him? He's super cute. He's so stinking photogenic. He's one of those men that if I were his husband, or if I was his wife or his husband, I would hate him because he is so photogenic. This is not even a good picture of him. He still looks good. Right? It's not focusing so good. He's so handsome. Anyway, so I made the socks for him. He was very appreciative, but in secret really probably not so keen on them. But so my memo took over, and she discovered that she loves hand-knit socks. Loves them. So throughout the year, I've given her like 2 or 3 pair, I think. And then for Christmas, I gave her 3 pair all at once. 1 pair was homespun. She was very excited. So 1 pair was homespun, hand knit. The other pair was a pair of, see, this is her little face. If you're not on Instagram, I showed this on Instagram, but if you're not, look at her face. That's pure excitement, people. She's the best person ever to give a gift to. She loves everything. Everything. I hope you can't see like my dirty, dirty house every time I hold up the iPad. You probably can, can't you? Sorry. But the point of the story is that A, my memo is awesome. My papa is photogenic. And C, I made her these socks. Which, the color is not, they showed up so great. The color in the iPad is actually quite good. But anyway, I made her these socks. These were Socks that Rock lightweight in the Blitzen colorway. And she's super excited about them. She loved them very, very much. So yay that. I finished the socks for her. What else did I finish? Oh, I finished a pair of the felted clogs, the Fiber Trends felted clogs. So there they are. You saw them as they were unfold, and now there they are, fold. They're big enough to fit a men's size 9, 9.5. I also finished, from the same designer, whose name I can no longer recall, I finished a pair of awesome felted mittens, which Tova has in her pockets of her jacket right now. And these are from the book Felted Knits. And they were in the last week's show notes, so you can, or the last episode show notes, so you can find them there. They have a felted or fold hand, but with an applied knitted cuff that is not fold. So exciting. I think I'm going to make a pair for myself. Because they're only 1 strand of worsted weight yarn. A lot of fold things are a double strand. But they're one, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit wheezy and like, ugh. You can probably hear me breathe all the time because I'm a mouth breather. All the things that are wrong with me. But with the heat is on more now because it's getting colder. So I get a little bit like, let's just pretend I'm drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes. I'm like, what is that other thing? Let's just pretend that. I'm hardcore. No, it's just the heater, huh? Oh, so anyway, so they're just a single strand of worsted wool. So when they're felted or fold, as the actual proper term is, they're still very supple. They're not really rigid like a slipper, which makes sense. And they have short rows, so they are curved a little bit. So they naturally kind of hang like this, which is super nice. Anyway, they're just wonderful. Somebody either in a PM or a message, which I can no longer remember which it was, also suggested that she makes them the same way, except she makes the cuffs out of cotton. So she casts on a cotton cuff, does the ribbing, and then goes to feltable wool for the mitten part, so that she does not have to do the provisional cast on and then the picking up after the fulling to knit the cuff, which is also an option. I don't like cotton as much for things that require elasticity, because even though the ribbing has elasticity, the cotton fiber doesn't have as much memory, so it does have a tendency to stretch out. And for a kiddo, I think for an adult it would be fine. But for a kiddo who is playing out in the snow, I like the wool cuff because it does really stay on. These are product tested through many a snow football fight. I recommend them. So, and that designer is, I will look that up really quickly since I did just mention 2 of her patterns, and that's not very nice of me to not mention that, is it? No, it's not. So I should look that up really quickly. And I did find out that the Felted Knits book, I was like, are these patterns all by her? They totally are, because she's the woman who does the Fiber Trends felted clogs. Like, she's just like a felted pattern making machine, apparently. And I feel like her name is Bev, but then I'm just making that up. And maybe it's Bev Galeskas, or Galoskas, Galeskas. I've also made from that same book, the Felted Knits book, I have made these felted moccasins for my little husband, and they've lasted for 3 or 4 years. They've lasted quite a long time. So anyway, so she's an excellent pattern writer. Sometimes felted patterns can be a little bit dicey, because you can kind of, you can get away with some things because you're felting it. You know what I mean? So sometimes if you like really spend a lot of time in the felting process, you can sculpt or mold something into what it might not naturally do when you just throw it in the washing machine. And everything I've made that she has written a pattern for has no need for creative sculpting afterwards. So I highly recommend her. Also, I learned this trick. I was watching a video about processing fleece. I believe it was an Interweave Knits video, but I can no longer remember. Anyway, it's about processing fleeces, washing fleeces and getting them ready to spin. And in that, she talked about washing her fleece in the washing machine, and everybody that knows anything about wool is always like, oh! But she talked about the different soaps that you can use to do so. And 2 of the soaps that she mentioned that are not good for that process were Tide, and I believe there was another one, I could be wrong. But Tide, the brand name for Procter & Gamble, she had mentioned that they have a tendency to felt things. Well, we do not have excessively hot water. I feel like secretly my husband at one point turned off the hot water that goes into the washing machine. He insists that he did not. But the water that comes into the washing machine is always cold. I could never get it hot. So typically when I felt things, I have to boil like big kettles of water and put them in. It's like Little House on the Prairie in here. Not at all. I'm so lazy. It's ridiculous. But that's this little house that gets up in here. But anyway, so I usually have to go through like these great lengths to get things to actually shrink down. This year, however, I remembered that she said that about the Tide, and I happen to have a sample. I don't buy Tide for no particular reason, but Tova at one point when she was young was very sensitive to either dye or scent or something in the washing machine and washing soap. And so we went to like a clear, like an all, just doesn't have any dye or anything in it. So we don't have Tide in the house. That's what I'm trying to say. Jeez Louise. Talkity talk talk. So I had a sample of Tide for some reason. I had like one of those little pod things or whatever. Anyway, I had a sample that had come into the house in some way or another. And so I used that. I washed it with that and a pair of like I was going to say my husband's, but they're really mine. My like harder rigid jeans, like the carpenter jeans, overalls. So I washed them with my overalls and that Tide. And I usually do wash them with like a pair of jeans because the extra agitation when you're felting something helps to really help. But that Tide, I didn't have to boil water or anything. That Tide totally does felt stuff. So don't use it on your fleece. But if you're needing to felt something, Tide is apparently the way to go. I think I'm going to go get maybe some of those pods because they're just like little doohickeys like this. So they would store very easily. Anyway, it's a wonder filter. Tidbit. It's all about different things in life, this podcast. So I think that's all that I finished that you haven't seen. Yes, it is. Okay. So the next thing that I have finished that you are seeing, kind of, is I finished my Stroker, Strokker. I finished my Stroker sweater, and that is by the beautiful Isolde Teague. She's so pretty. I didn't make that up, right? That is correct. I believe that's correct. It is made, and I'll put a picture of it here. Sorry, you can't quite see the bottom, but I should have brought a step stool over, but you can kind of see the bottom. It's right there. Right there. So there it is. Ba-da. There's the bag. It's a little bit looser in here than I like typically, but considering there were so many gauge issues happening, I'm okay with it. So yes, usually I like my sweaters to be like a little snugger right there, so it's more of that effect, because as you can see, I have a lot more bulk back there. So, but it's done, and I didn't have to steek it. That would be that bad, but you know, whatever. Okay, I'm back. It is made with Bartlett yarns, and the main color is dark sheep's gray. This lightest color is light sheep gray. I actually got a gold color for this blue instead of the blue that's here. I got a gold color, but it just didn't have enough contrast with the darker gray. I could have flip-flopped and put it, but whatever. But it did not work as well. So this is some piece fleece that I had in stash, and I apologize, I do not know what color it was. But it's just like a nice aqua-ish blue. So yeah, that. As you can see from the pictures, I made it short-sleeved, because that's really my only way I'm making worsted weight sweaters, I think, from now on. I mean, occasionally you can have a coat sweater, but for me, a worsted weight sweater, maybe if I made it out of like a superwash, like a Socks That Rock or something, it would not be that way. But with the woolen spun yarns, worsted weight sweater is just too hot for me unless it's to be worn outside. You know, if you're going to go cut a Christmas tree, it's fine for that. But it's not good for Tuesday nights. Not at all. However, the short sleeve versions makes a huge difference temperature control wise. Huge difference. So I am okay with the short sleeve worsted weight sweater. Or this is maybe even Aran weight. I don't know. So as you perhaps remember, I'm sorry, again with the frogginess. I've not also had fluids yet this morning. Perhaps that was an unwise decision on my part. You may recall from a month ago, this has been in hibernation for a while, because I tried it on. I realized that I had used the wrong size needle to knit the thing. Happens to all of us. I realized that I used the wrong size needle, so I kind of freaked out because I tried it on. I was up to like essentially the armpit before I realized this. I tried it on and it fit, but it was too snug. Like it was, hey belly, what's up? It was caressing my roundish bits, but it was in love with them. So it was a little clingy. So I was like, oh, curse words. So I was trying to decide if I should, I was prepared to steek, I was not prepared to rip it out. Even though it's worsted weight and I was way up to the armpit, I just don't roll that way. It's a fault. But anyway, so I was thinking I was preparing that perhaps I would steek it and make it a cardigan, which I thought would be cute, but I was like, I like the pullover so very much. I love the short sleeve pullover. It's very easy to wear. It's so fun. So I was kind of disappointed that I was like, but I knew I could do it. But what I decided to do is, after the Christmas knitting and the holiday knitting and stuff was done, after the holiday bags were sewn, oh my lord, so many holiday bags, thank you. after those things were done, I decided, okay, I'm going to block it and see if it will block right out. And it totally did. Yay. So it blocked out so that now it has plenty of ease. And in fact, as you saw on the back, it has a little too much positive ease, but that's okay. Not a big deal. It's totally workable. Bonifications. I think Isolde does do some waist shaping. I did bust darts and butt darts, or waist shaping, as they are also known, a la Amy Herzog in her Fit to Flatter book or series. My gauge was different, so I didn't make a size that was a thing. Not that it would matter anyway when you do bust darts and butt darts. It doesn't matter anyway. But anyway, but I did do the size that would fit here. And it's a little bit snugger in the arm. Again, I had gauge issues. However, I kind of like a short sleeve sweater. It's not like snug. I mean, there's still... But when you put it on, because of the yoke, the yoke you're carrying yarn, so it is a more rigid area of the sweater. It has less stretch. So when you put it on, it feels a little snug in this area. However, with a short sleeve sweater, I kind of like this to be to have some negative ease. Not when it's sitting. When you put it on, obviously you can see I can create a lot of positive ease there. But, there's like that whole thing between, you know what I mean? So actually I think this is knit with theoretical 0% ease. Because again, when I'm doing the short sleeve, I do not like them to flare out at all. This is, of course, one of my, except you go down a few inches, that's my boobs, and my fat arms coinciding, and that makes me the widest at that point. So I don't need extra stuff sticking out, like wings on top of that, to even be like more hello, because hi, I'm me, and I go hello without that. So what else were we talking about? Oh, I was very nervous about this is a yoked sweater. I have not made one of those since I was in college, because I've always felt like they were not flattering. However, I think this turned out really well. Isolde's yoke is a shorter yoke than typical. You can see there's quite a bit of the arm that is knit before you actually start in on the yoke, which makes it so that the yoke is not falling at that really widest part of my body. So I think that worked out really well. I think it's totally cute. I think it's cute. Don't tell me it's not. No, you wouldn't do that anyway, but I'm just saying don't. I like it. So, yay, that. I think I want to make more yoki sweaters in the future. I may have already brought yarn for one. Shut up. I know, I'm so bad. So much yarn in my house. I can't stop. I'm out of control. But anyway. Well, I bought my mammal yarn and decided to make her a sweater, and then something happened in my head, which meant I needed to buy myself. Oh, I finished this. I finished the sweater. I needed to buy more sweater yarn. Come on. It's clearly how it works. In my defense, I don't have very many sweater quantities in stash. I think like 3, I'm guessing. So that's not that bad. Hush, with your judgy faces. Trust me, I judge no one's stash. So, okay, now I have a thing that's here that I finished. Okay, that's not too bad. I finished my Ricky hat. I'm sorry. Ooh, look at that. I finished my Ricky hat. And this is out of Miss Babs. And I apologize. That's all I know. No. Pretty much. I finished my Miss Babs hat. This is the Ricky hat. And it is out of Miss Babs. Gosh, can I say Miss Babs more times? I don't need to. I'm just saying it. Really? Yeah, settle down. Yarn. This is the DK weight, and I apologize. I don't know which DK it is. I have somehow lost the tag. I could find out, but I'm not going to. It is not the Northumbria or what. It's not the BFL one. It's the 100% Superwash Merino one. And I knitted on US 4s, I believe, or maybe 5s. I can no longer recall. The pattern is by Sarah Young, and the colorway is Joan of Arc. Oh my gosh, could that have been more convoluted? No, it couldn't have been. I've already been talking for 30 minutes. I can't keep it together any longer. So, Ricky Hat by Sarah Young. Miss Babs, DK, 100% Superwash Merino. Joan of Arc colorway. Yay! So, this is my second Ricky Hat. I love them. They're super fun. They're actually not... I love garter stitch, but it takes forever to knit anything. Because your row gauge is significantly less than it is in stockinette. So it really feels like, oh, it's just a little DK. Garter stitch, it's gonna take like 3 seconds. It doesn't. But I think it turned out really well. I wish I kind of had started my skein from the other direction, because as you can see, the bottom is a lot lighter than the top. It's much more oranges, and I kind of would have liked that to be on the bottom, but you know, whatever. Nothing can be perfect, especially when I touch it. So, anyway, so I like the Ricky Hat quite a bit. It's a lot to look at for me with the sweater too, so I'm not... That's a lot to look at too. Jeez Louise, people! How were you even hanging around with me for this long? I'm a hot mess. Hot mess. Oh my gosh, I totally want a Hot Pocket. I don't. Because they're really not good, but the idea of them is always exciting. Hot Pocket. So anyway, these are all the finished things, right? Jeez, I'm talking so much. Okay, so I've also been working on my Christmas socks. I'll show you the one that's finished. This is Blue Moon Fiber Arts Socks That Rock, medium weight in the Very Scummy Christmas colorway. Aren't they cute? So they're just plain stockinette. I am normally a 72 stitcher, but in the sport weight I can get away with 64. I'm knitting them on US 0 double points. These are the Carbons double points. And I like it very much. So I'm on the gusset decreases at this point. Yay! Oh my gosh, and there's so much yarn left over. I still have the whole foot to knit, and I have a big foot, but whoa, that's a lot of yarn left over. There might be like a stripy Christmas cowl in my future. What else? You have also... Okay, so the beautiful Spun Right Round. That's right? It's just gonna be like a whole day of me like... The beautiful Spun Right Round had put out that she was doing mini skein kits, and she was putting them on like she was saying on Instagram, like, oh, I've got mini skein kits out, and every time I went, they were already gone, like, and really within like not very much time at all. Yes, okay, it was Spun Right Round. Anyway, she's a wonderful color sense that I am in love with. And so I was like, oh, every time I saw one, again, I need more yarn, like I need a hole in my head. I may need another hole in my head even more than I need more yarn. Whatever. Renee's stuff is gorgeous. I can't help it. So I kept checking, and then I would be like, oh, they're gone. Arr. She was very cute and sent me a set. Right? I'm so stinking lucky. So she sent me a set. I should have taken a better picture when they were all in their like happy little box together, because they're so pretty. But I decided, here, I'll show you some of them. They come like this. So this is the actual skein that comes, and there are 10 of them, so they're about 10 grams each. So here's some more colors. Bam! Look at that! So I really debated quite a bit on what I wanted to do. Did I want to do a snakeskin cowl like Malia did with Dana of Unwind's mini skeins? That is so pretty, by the way. Malia is rhymes with Maria of the Yarn Raising podcast. I always say barn raising. Of the Yarn Raising podcast. Anyway, did I want to do that? And I know other people have made them too, but hers is the first one I recall. And like, did I want to do some sort of chevron-y stripy cowl? Did I want to do some sort of like just shawl with, do it like Magic Naughty? I couldn't decide. Do I want to do socks? Do I want to do magic knot socks? Do I want to do magic knot mittens? That was a really high contender. Ultimately, I decided upon doing this crazy hat, which is definitely crazy. Like, it's bonko. But it's fun, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted something fun that I could just use the yarn that was in the kit. I didn't have to like go out and look for coordinates. You know, I was like, I just can't. You know how you are sometimes you're just like, I just want to make it. I don't want to think too much about it. It was like that, pretty much. Oh my Lord, I'm never going to find this pattern. Dang it. I tell you what. There it is. Sock Stash Buster slouch hat, and that is by Amanda Schwab. It looks like that. So hers is knit with the Knit Picks, whatever their fingering weight one is, I can't remember. Palette, I think. And she also has coordinating mitts that she has a pattern for. This is a pay for pattern. Look at it. Ah! How fun is that? So you just have one row stripes, and then you kind of alternate the colors so that you have an overlap of this has light pink and purple, this has light pink and dark pink, this has dark pink and blue, this has blue in the next color. So you're just, you know, you can tell that by looking at the picture, by the way. I don't feel like that's ownership-y material. And I'm knitting that on US size 2s. These are the Chalgoos. They have the bent, which I was a little bit concerned about. But really with the 16-inch circular, the bent is good. It makes my hands not cramp up as much for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just making that up. I could be. I could be totally making that up. But it doesn't seem like they do. Sometimes the little needles in a 16-inch circular, it hurts my hands quite a bit. Well, this is the US 2. Maybe that's just like the breaking point, but it still feels comfortable. I've not knit on it for like hours at a time, but it still feels comfortable. Anyway, so there's that. Isn't that fun? And then I'm still working on my Another Door Opens, which is a pattern by Sarah Pomegranate of the Yarns at Yin Hu audio podcast. You should check her out. So this again is Another Door Opens. I'm knitting it with hand spun. It is on a very short circular needle, so I apologize that I am a podcasting fail. And that, which you can kind of see. It has a lovely kind of reminiscent of a ginkgo shape at the bottom, which I'm excited about. I'm not as excited about this hand spun, how it had nice transitions here. See this? This is, by the way, it's not the dyer's fault. This is me. It had great transitions up here because I did these from little mini bits of top. This was not like a one preparation. So I'm the one who put them together. It's not the dyer's fault. And that is by Nunoco, N-U-N-O-C-O. They're on holiday vacation. I may have already looked at their website. Anyways, I'm not excited about these like sharper transitions, but whatever. I'm glad to get this hand spun out of the stash. And this pattern is this is a very enjoyable pattern. You can see you have some markers going. You have some variance between stockinette and garter. So it's got a little bit going on, and I do mean a little bit. It's not, and it's very easy to know what's going on. It is not a pattern referrer. I'm going to look at the pattern. Okay, I need to do that for 32 garter stitch ridges, and then I'm going to do something different. So it's very good in terms of just having a basic project that has a little bit of variation. It's not like a straight up garter stitch something where you're just constantly doing the exact same thing. You have some variation in stitch, so that's nice within the same row. Anyway, it's pleasant, but there's not like a ton of purling on the back sides because there are some garter stitch in there. it's very enjoyable. Good jobs there, pomegranate. Last thing, I promise. Last thing to show you. I am working on a sweater for my kiddo. I am working on it out of Quince and Company Lark, which is their worsted, DK worsted E-way one. Suggested gauge of 4.5 to 5 stitches. It's 134 yards for 50 grams. This is the Wine Sap colorway. I think that's pretty accurate. I still have not really figured out this color yet. Isn't that weird? I've knit almost 2 skeins, well, not really, a skein and a half of it. I'm still kind of like, in certain lights, I'm like, this is way too rusty. It's just for her uniform sweater. My daughter wears uniforms for school, and they have to have a solid color sweater. So usually every year I try to make her at least one sweater. In the spring, in the fall, I made her a kiddo vertebrae, but she needs another. Her sweater from last year still fits. It's just looking a little ratty because she wears it almost every day. So the point of that rant was that she needs to have a red colored sweater. And I keep looking at it like, is this too rusty? I think it's going to be fine. But I can't, it's hard to find a really true red sometimes. Because this is a great color for humans, but like adults. But it's not really as clear of a cherry red as I would perhaps want for this project. But I still think it'll be okay. It's me talking a lot. That's how this show goes. So anyway, so I'm making her a top-down sweater. She wants a zipper. Zippers are great. They make things very functional and easy to wear. But sometimes she's like, put a button, whole band. I wouldn't have to like rethink. I could just get a pattern. And there's not a lot of patterns out there that have zippers in them. There are several, but there's not a ton. And a lot of them are for men, which the sizing will not work for her. So this is what I'm working on. So I wanted it to have a higher collar to help keep her warm. The zipper will probably run all the way to the top. It's going to have a raglan sleeve. I'm almost to the split, but it has the Hugs and Kisses cable along the front panel. So I have just a few stitches of rib, 1 by 1. That'll be what I anchor that zipper to. I have a 10-stitch Hugs and Kisses cable repeat, and by the way, that's a free. You can get that anywhere if you just Google Hugs and Kisses cable pattern. I think Lion brand has a charted version up, and then just a little bit more rib for symmetry. So pearl, anyway. So anyway, there it is. So that's that. And I've of course I love the Quince and Company yarns. Even though I'm not usually a fan of solid colors, they're always very pleasant to knit with. I am knitting this as somewhat, well, it's actually the gauge that's suggested, isn't it? The blocked gauge is 4.5 stitches per inch, and to achieve that, I'm knitting on a US 4. So it has some good body. I also liked the gauge at the 4 stitches to the inch, but since this is a durable, hopefully, we're aiming for durability, in part. Because this needs to be durable, I did knit it to a tighter gauge because I think that, well, it does wear better. Like, that's science and stuff. So anyways, I'm very pleased with how this little collar looks. I don't know why, but it's like very, because it's 1 by 1 rib, and it just feels very dense and wonderful. So I'm like, oh, it's so good. I hope she likes it. So I think that's it. I may have ordered myself a Quince and Company sweater. See, I finished one. I started another one. Come on. That one will get finished. It's a kid sweater. Oh my gosh, 30-inch chest circumference, people. Your life is like magic candy. I ate the magic candy that my life was like, and that's why I don't have a 30-inch bust. But that magic candy was delicious. But I'm not sure. Oh, was it as good as it would be to only have to cast on, 200 stitches? Oh, I don't know. So exciting. Anyway, actually, that's kind of a lot. This sweater, since it's only like 3.5 stitches to the inch, was like not very many stitches. It was awesome. Worsted weight sweaters are so cool. They're too hot. Short-sleeve ones work. So anyway, that's a lot of me talking. There will be a podcast, I hope, next week. There should be no problem with that. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.